I have in front of me a 700 TVL 30-meter IR bullet camera. Okay, this is a really impressive little camera. I'm just going to give an overview here of exactly what comes in the box. We'll go into some detail then in terms of the camera itself and how to adjust it. And finally what we'll do is we'll just give a demonstration of the camera in action, which we've set up already on the DVR. It's focusing on our free TV sign, and then we'll actually turn off the lights and just see the IR night vision on it as well. Okay, so it comes in this outer box here, so it's just lots of padding inside, etc., so it can be safely transported. We have a user manual in English, just gives all the main details on it. We have a little template here which we could use for marking out a wall, so we could actually mount it directly on. And then what we have is 4 plugs and 4 screws that we'd use for mounting it, and then we have an adapter here which we'd use for obviously giving power directly into the camera. So if we look at the camera itself, there's 2 leads coming out of it. We have the power lead, which we'd use here. Normally we'd be using something like maybe a 2 amp power unit directly onto this 12 volt 2 amp power unit. So you can see that the power, the 2.1 millimeter socket goes in here, our plug. And then we have a BNC connection here, where we could obviously run this back directly to our DVR, etc. So little plastic cover to protect it here. So we have the bracket on which it's mounted here. So we'd use a screwdriver to loosen this off, but basically we can rotate this a full 180 degrees, and it just gives us flexibility then in terms of how we want to mount it. You see there's adjustment here, and equally then if I rotate it around, there's another adjustment screw here. Okay. On top of the camera itself, we have this sliding cover here, and this is just protected both from the elements and also from direct sunlight onto it. If we look at the little LEDs in the front, there's I think 36 LEDs on this, so this is what gives us our 30-meter IR. In terms of the lens that comes with it, it's very focal. It's from 2.8 millimeters all the way up to 12 millimeters. And then if we look in the back here, and I think this is one really cool part of the design here, there's a very, very easy way to adjust both the zoom and also the focus here. Okay? And how we do it is, these are actually little screwdrivers, believe it or not. So I just unscrew this. It gives us access into where we'll adjust it. And if we see here, we actually have a little adjustment in the cap here, and it would just slide on, and it lets us do our adjustment here. So it's a really neat design, and it's the same identical design both here for the zoom but for the focus as well. Okay. So in terms of the picture resolutions here, we see all the rest of it. We can see it's giving really good colour. We're into the fine lettering there. We have probably had set up 2 or 3 meters away from the wall here, so it looks really neat from that perspective. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to nip over for a moment. I'm just going to turn off our main light, and also we'll turn off the sublight here, and we can see just the picture onto the screen, how quickly it adjusts there, and also how clearly we can read it in almost complete darkness here. Okay? So I'll turn it back on now. So as you can see on the demonstration here, it just sits nicely into a range of things because it's at a very competitive price. Picture resolution obviously isn't quite as good as we'll say with our new 960H cameras, but the price point comes in, all the rest of it, and the picture resolution at 700 TVL is still a really decent picture thing on it, and the general design quality in this is really, really good. So that's it anyway, an overview of our 700 TVL 30-meter IR bullet camera.